guys, welcome to another episode of The Geekly, and today we've got some wonderful segments for you guys. So we're going to touch on some really cool things, and I feel like every single lady here is going to give you some tips, some tricks, and show you something super fun during this episode of our show. You are watching us here on our YouTube channel. If you have not subscribed, please do so that way you get notified every time we put up a video here. And I think you should probably know who these ladies are. By the way, my name is Amiyrah, and I'm from 4hatsandfrugal.com. And I see Tanya there. Tanya, tell us about yourself.
Hi, I am Tanya Lamb from LolaLambChops.com.
I'm Tessa Smith with mamasgeeky.com.
And I'm Beyonce. I'm not going to stop saying that. Amanda from Guide for Moms.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Beyonce. That was great. I really like that. And I feel like this is a great episode to talk about one of those amazing shows that everybody's now obsessed with. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Nailed It.
Nailed it.
It's so much fun.
I'm going to tell you, I was first introduced by my daughter. She went to school, and they were talking about it at school, and she came back, and she's like, Mom, let's watch this new show. I talked about it. Or they were talking about it at school, and then I was obsessed. We started watching it, and we watched both seasons like in a day because they're short. So we binged it in like a day. But it was first introduced by my daughter, and she's 10. So this is
me too. My daughter's 7. So yeah.
Nailed It is super, super fun to watch it. Tanya, do you ever watch it with your girls?
I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's really fun. So here's the thing about Nailed It is that things go wrong, and sometimes things go right. So I think maybe we should we try a craft? I don't know. I feel like
I think so. I think because I'm the most uncraftiest, and we are bringing in one of our craft experts out there in the blogging world, right?
Yeah.
So I'd say we bring in the crafter in the blogging world, and we try to replicate something.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it.
Let's do it. This will be fun.
All right. Good luck, girls. I'm going on vacation, so you take care of the pumpkins.
Yeah. And you have fun at Disney.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to our segment of Nailed It. If y'all have not seen Nailed It before, you should. It's a show on Netflix. What they do is take kind of amateurish cooks, right? Amateurish cooks, and put them on a task to recreate this magnificent, sometimes they do cookies, cakes. It's usually cakes, but sometimes they do cookies and other things. So we thought, bring into the Geekly Show that we're going to create something. But we wanted to do it Halloweenish. So we were like, let's do a pumpkin. And of course, we had to bring the most famous pumpkin blogger, pumpkin maker that we know in town, she's not in my town, but you know what I mean. Amy from As the Bunny Hops. Give it up for Amy!
Yay!
And so my experience with gaming is like playing Mario Kart. So of course you guys were like, make a Fortnite pumpkin, make a Fortnite pumpkin. I know nothing about Fortnite except like people kill each other and then they dance. Is that basically it?
That's basically it.
Okay, so you shoot somebody or kill them. Do you cut that? Is it all guns? Do you cut their heads off? I don't know.
Then that's one of their dance, right?
So basically you're like, I killed you and you're a loser. That's just rubbing salt into the wounds.
But
it's not gory or anything. They just disappear and all their stuff flies everywhere.
Okay, so also teaching like kids that when you murder somebody, they're just like, oh, they get dusted like it's Infinity War.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was like, I know nothing about Fortnite. And I was like, I don't know. I like make a bunch of movie pumpkins. If you go to my site, there's like movie pumpkins for days. But Amanda's like, look, Drift is a bunny. Drift is a bunny. And so
look at, doesn't that look like a bunny? Oh, that's so good.
It's so good.
This
And
is
this
my
ain't nothing. Look, this is awesome, but you should check out her other pumpkins. Because what is some of your most famous pumpkins, Amy?
Let me see. Probably the biggest one right now, I've got a Maleficent pumpkin, which is crazy easy to make. It's literally a black. I use craft pumpkins because I want to be able to use them from year to year. But Maleficent, it's a black pumpkin, and I used electrical tape on a wire with some crepe paper to make the little horns. That one's probably the most popular right now, and a lot of people are digging that. The poison apple. Poison apple is my personal favorite. The poison apple pumpkin actually glows in the dark.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
What do you use for that?
So I just spray painted the pumpkin red, and then I got the glow in the dark. If you go into the paint aisle of your craft store, they have the little paints in the squeezy tubes. And if you get the squeezy tube of glow in the dark, the green, and I just drew the little face on it, and it was so easy. Your children could do it. It's easy.
Well, I probably couldn't do it, but my kids probably couldn't.
Tessa couldn't do it. I've seen you cupcakes. You couldn't do it, but anybody else.
You know I am not a regular in the craft store. I'm not. I just, I can't tell you the last time, except for this pumpkin that I had to recreate, that I was up in a Michael's, right?
I mean, the people at Michael's.
Show them one more time what we were given the task to recreate.
Okay, so I use a craft pumpkin, but you can always use a real pumpkin if you don't mind it, being thrown out at the end of the season. So it's just a craft pumpkin. I got a white craft pumpkin, but I knew I'd want to do some touch-up work, so I actually painted a little over it. The ears are hot glued on. It's craft foam, and then it was just a little paintbrush and some black paint, some pink paint, some gold paint,
and we're gonna link on the bottom the directions, because that's the directions me and Tessa used, right?
Yeah.
And talk about being in a craft store and making it. Check out my video first of me making the pumpkin.
So I'm totally at Michael's right now, getting this stuff for the pumpkin. And look. I'm gonna already get one that's white. Shh, I don't know my way around Michael's. I haven't been to Michael's in years. Where's the phone? I don't think I'm close. Where's the phone? I might need to find it. I found the phone. It was the last one left. So we don't have any room for mistakes on this. Time to check out. All right. I'm back in the car, ready to go make my pumpkin. $25 later. These are some expensive pumpkins.
Now, Amy, are you ready to see the winner?
I am ready.
My drift pumpkin.
Oh, it's good.
I told y'all.
Amazing.
I was not playing
really
around.
good.
Now, there was
Look, twins.
twins. Now, I know my gold is a little thick. I had some drippage. Problems right there. We had to go a little thicker on it. But there we go.
Oh, man. That's good.
Like you did, which I thought, stick with the authentic looking stem right there, right?
You can always, that's one of those things, make it your own. Make it
your own. I go with the authentic stem.
Leave it raw. Do you, boo?
All right, Tessa, are you ready?
Yeah, let's check out my video of me attempting to make this pumpkin. I used a real pumpkin. I feel like I need extra points for that because they're harder. Okay. So extra points. I used a real pumpkin.
Okay.
I might have had a little problem with one of the ears. So this is the back.
So this was your...
Are you ready?
Okay, all right. Oh, what happened to that pumpkin?
Okay, wait, is that pumpkin what happens as you start to get murdered in Fortnite?
I think she deserves a dance.
It's not that bad. The pink started to really drip, and the gold just was a hot mess.
I learned how to control the drippage. After that one drippage problem I had, I learned to control the drippage. But I mean, I don't think it's really much of a competition, Amy. But if you had to choose, Amy, who's the winner?
Oh, this is hard. I mean, Tessa, I love that you used a real pumpkin.
Yeah.
I love that you had Lori make it and pretended like you did it.
She probably would have done better.
I hate to say it. Amanda wins.
Wow.
I found the pumpkin queen.
Good job, Amanda.
Just say it, Amy. You did not want me to win.
I didn't not want you to win.
Okay.
I just asked Tessa for a favor and wanted to be in her good graces.
I mean, clearly there wasn't much of a choice. Like that was a clear winner right here.
That horrible.
So you know what, Tessa, I got to give you props because I am a fan of your Smurf cupcakes for just how unsmurf-like they look. And I mean, what I'm going to need you to do is probably throw up a picture of the Smurf cupcakes because I mean, there's progression here in your skills.
Oh,
because your pumpkin looks like drift. It looks like a toddler painted it, but it looks like drift. So no,
he's progressing. Yes.
Yes, it's not about your final product. It's the process. You're making progress. And so I applaud your progress.
You get an A for effort, Tessa. A for effort. But I'm still the winner. Well, thank you, Amy.
Yes, we're going to have to do this again for sure.
Her name again. Can you throw up her name again?
Yeah.
Amy from As the Bunny Hops. Take a bow, Amy. Take a bow.
Thank you.
Now, back to the show. Back to the show.
Well, great job, girls. Those pumpkins look awesome. We should do Nailed It more often. But I mean, I would say don't quit your day jobs, though. Leave it to the expert. Fulcher is an expert.
Yeah.
We'll remember that, Tanya. The next one. You're going to be in the next one, and we will remember. Speaking of Nailed It, we want to hear Amiyrah's segment on Star Wars Resistance. Did Star Wars nail it, Amiyrah? Did Star Wars nail it?
Oh, well, I have a lot of feelings about Star Wars Resistance, and I decided to keep them to myself, except for this segment. So I'm going to give you the full scoop, everything you need to know about Star Wars Resistance, and my feelings as a true and very opinionated Star Wars fan. So check it out.
Whew. Okay, guys, it's time to talk about Star Wars Resistance. The new animated series came out this past Sunday, and it premiered at 10 p.m. on the Disney Channel. And as a Star Wars fan, I have to keep it real with you guys and tell you what I actually thought of the animated series. So, okay, I will preface this to say, first and foremost, I think it was a lot of fun to watch. I think it's definitely going to be an animated series that skews to the younger audience, which it seems like that's what they're going for with the way that the series is actually animated, what the characters look like, their movements. It looks like it's going to be perfect for those of us who have younger kids and maybe we want to watch a animated series with them. So here's the thing about Star Wars Resistance. I think that it's going to be one of those animated series where it's going to take us a little bit to learn to appreciate it. It's not going to be one of those animated series where we're going to feel heavily invested in it. It'll be a lighthearted animated series that we can watch and see how Kaz does. Kaz is the main character. He's actually really funny. So it's Kazuda, that's his full name. And he's a funny character. He's a little bit insecure. He's younger, but he wants to make an impression and make a difference. So it's going to be fun to follow along with that. We had a lovely Poe Dameron sighting early on in the very first episode. So it's about 3 minutes in and we got to see Poe, which I love. So that was really great. And we have a bunch of characters that our kids are going to really fall in love with. And I think that this will be something that will be more uplifting for those of us who are Star Wars fans. It's a nice breather. So it's very open-hearted, it's very bright and light, and it's going to be something that we won't have to feel like we need a complete storyline with it. I say all that to say, I still love an animated series, a Star Wars animated series where I'm gonna get a connection to something that I already know and love. I have to admit that I am a longtime Star Wars fan, so of course I'm gonna want some type of connection, and we may get that in Resistance. We may have some little Easter eggs or parallels, but because this is going on before the Order really is a mainstay and a true villain, that we won't have to really feel that we're going to be heavily invested. So I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. We will see. We will see. It kind of feels a little bit like Episode 1. I know I said it. I'm not a big Star Wars Episode 1 fan. The Phantom Menace is awesome. It has one of the best fight scenes in it ever. But it could be a little bit hokey. It could be a little bit juvenile in certain parts. But we have a lovely character called Nico, and you could see the parallel of Nico and Jar Jar, but not in a very annoying sense. I actually love the character Nico. I think he was completely funny. I love that he took everything at face value. So anything that Kaz would say to him, he totally took it as truth, which was a wonderful comedic part of the episodes, which if you haven't seen it yet, you're going to laugh at that. And I loved that feeling that you got. There was some racing going on, so if you guys love the pod racing in Episode 1, you're gonna love seeing this in Star Wars Resistance. It takes place on the Colossus, so because the Colossus it's kind of like a floating island. It's a refueler, so you can go there and fuel up your ships. But they do racing there, and they also have a cantina. They have a lot of things that are going on within the Colossus, so I feel like we're going to see a lot of storyline there. And because Kaz is seen as a spy, if you guys watch the trailer, you know that. That's not really a spoiler. We're going to see him go through a lot of different interactions with many people who live on the Colossus. And we will see how he grows as a character. And I feel like we won't get sucked into it being too heavy. I feel like we will continue to enjoy the lightheartedness, very similar to the beginning of Star Wars, Lego Star Wars, actually, Freemaker Adventures, for those of you who watched that. So we'll feel that type of atmosphere, which is nice. I think we need this right about now. I don't know about you, but I do. So those of you who are thinking about watching it, go ahead, give it a go. It does come on at 10 p.m., which kind of drives me a little bit batty because I feel like it is going for the younger audience. So having it be on at 10 p.m. EST is kind of tough on a Sunday night. So hopefully they may change the timing so that way kids will actually be able to watch it during the weekend. I say all that to say, watch it with your kids. You're really going to enjoy having this lighthearted, fun thing to watch with them, and a wonderful new storyline for us to talk about. We'll be giving you more updates about Star Wars Resistance and everything Star Wars here on The Geekly. Stay tuned.
Whoa, Amiyrah, you had some thoughts on Star Wars Resistance. You got some feelings. Honestly, that's how I feel about comic books right now too. There's some I love, some I don't love, some I don't know, but I'm going to talk about it with Amanda. There's been some pretty good ones this week. Hey, welcome to this week's Tessa's Comic Book Corner. I'm here with Amanda.
Hi, Tessa.
Hey, girl. So last week you liked that what if so much that I picked out another what if for this week.
Is that the one today?
That's what we're talking about today.
I'm excited because, yeah, I didn't get to the comment. I didn't even go and look. But I was talking to Greg, and I was telling him about these what if things, and I was like, we really need to hit a comment because I want to start getting some of these. It sounded so interesting. So who is it today? Who is it?
So last time it was what if Flash Thompson became Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
This time it's what if Peter Parker became the Punisher.
What? Oh, I'm excited. Well, because hello, number one, Spider-Man is my favorite, Peter Parker. But I just started the Punisher series.
Oh, you did?
This episode of the Punisher on Netflix, the Netflix one. So, like, I'm excited to see this. He's. All right. I don't think I ever appreciated it, like the comics before of him and everything.
Oh, see, I love the Punisher.
Really? I never really got into it. I don't even know if I even tried to, you know? I was just kind of like, eh. But watching Daredevil 2, Marvel, the Netflix series, I was like, this Punisher guy. Like, so that's why I was like kind of just starting the series on just him. So I'm getting into it.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to hear about it.
All right. Well, so it starts the same way. He gets bit by a spider.
Yeah.
He gets these powers.
Okay.
He realizes that he says money's always been tight, but Uncle Ben and Aunt May are always like stretching what they have for me. They're always making sure I have stuff. And they're the only people I care about because they're the only people who care about me. So then he makes money and he doesn't stop someone and that person kills Uncle Ben.
Okay, so that's the same. Unlike Flash, right? Unlike Flash.
What he does is he tracks down the guy while he's surrounded by the cops, goes in and like kills him.
Well, because he's the Punisher.
And so, because he says, I'm not going to let anybody hurt my family anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm going to kill them, which is a step further than Peter Parker takes, right? Yeah. Peter Parker took responsibility as I can't let people die. Yeah. This Peter Parker is like, well, I'm not going to let anybody kill my family. I'll just kill you first, basically. Like, I'll kill you, right? So J. Jonah Jameson, same sort of thing. Peter's still selling pictures to him. Okay. So he's still taking pictures of himself, but he's taking pictures of himself really beating up these villains. And now he hasn't killed any of them at the beginning. Okay. But he's realizing they keep coming back, and they're coming back stronger. And
well, he did kill the guy that killed Uncle Ben, right?
Yes, he killed him.
That's the only one. Okay.
Not like the Vulture and Green Goblin and stuff, right? Yeah. So J. Jonah has started calling him the punishing spider, and he just embraces that. Okay. So then he's kind of, like I said, they're starting to come back at him with harder hits, and they're not caring, they're getting more and more upset. And he realizes, like, my family might be in danger if anybody figures out who I am. And then Norman Osborn, Green Goblin, figures out who he is, which is something that happened in the comic books too, by the way. So they're saying when that moment happens, like, something switches, and he's like, he looks at his armor and he realizes, okay, well, Green Goblin, when he gets shot here, his armor explodes it outside. So that's how he doesn't get hurt. So he's realizing, like, how he can kill these people. Like, he's looking at them. So he goes back and he takes his web shooters and he turns them into, like, he just kills all of the Sinister Six. So he realizes a certain thing that will turn Sandman into glass so then he can shatter him. And he uses something that will overload Electro. So he's got all these different, like, he uses science behind it, but in his web shooters that will just kill these people, which is crazy. So then Norman Osborn, he gets amnesia with the fight, right? Which is something that happened in the comics. So he lets him go. And he's like, he's not going to remember who I am. No big deal. My family's not going to be in danger.
Take him out. He didn't take him out.
Yep. So he lets him live. And then Norman Osborn gets his memory back, which again is something that happens in the regular comic line, which is really cool. And
he kills Aunt May.
What?
Then he kills Aunt May.
No. So
Oh.
listen. No. That would be crazy though.
I know.
But well, what he does do is at this point, Peter Parker is dating Gwen Stacy.
Okay.
Norman Osborn takes Gwen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very iconic thing. He's up at the top of the bridge and he says, listen, like, you need to die. Like, I'm going to throw her off the bridge if you don't kill yourself. Like, you can kill yourself and there's no way you're going to be able to save her anyway. So I'm going to throw, type of thing. So he doesn't. So what he does is he's like, okay, I haven't tested these. I hope it works. Whatever he was doing to try to hurt Green Goblin, his armor, right? He just has to shoot the same place like a whole bunch of times. Whatever, it works. He kills Norman Osborn. But Norman drops Gwen. Now, if you know, and you know from the movies, because it happens in the movies, when he stops her and catches her, what happens to her?
She
breaks her neck.
Oh, yeah.
Remember? So with this one, she does it. He like stops her and she gets knocked out, but he's right there and he gives her CPR and she comes back. And he decides to quit being Spider-Man, right? Or Punisher.
Yeah.
And he says, if she'll have me, I want to marry her. Okay. So she's in the hospital and they leave together. He takes his suit and he throws it in the trash. And all throughout the comic, you're seeing news reports of like a different robberies and things that are going on. Well, they talk about a fight that happened in, where do you think it happened? Just think. Happened in Central Square. And an entire family they suspect is killed. But they can't find the body of the father. The Castle family. So guess who finds his suit at the end?
Frank Castle.
Frank Castle.
Oh, no.
Isn't it great?
Brings it back to the Punisher becoming Spider-Man, like the opposite.
Yes. It's pretty cool.
They're going to have to do the next one as that, right?
It says the end with the question mark.
I feel like that wasn't a bad one, like if Spider-Man became the Punisher.
I mean, it's not, he killed villains, right? So, and he said the first time he killed someone, like he had nightmares and stuff like that, because that's not him,
Yeah, yeah.
But, I mean, it's very similar, and it's just, I mean, geez, he just killed the villains.
You're like, just the villains? I mean, hello.
He made the world a better place, I'm just saying.
I don't miss him. Well, but
so that was my favorite one.
Was kind of like his friends, or right from the movie, right? The Green Goblin, he was kind of his friend at one point.
Well, that's Harry Osborn, which he is roommates in here.
Yeah.
In this one, they mentioned him.
Right. Well, from the movies, I'm thinking the Green Goblin was like that Harry's dad, right?
Right. Yep.
Okay. So
Norman Osborn.
Yeah. I get that all confused. Norman. So he killed him.
Yeah, and his friend was like, "Oh, Spider-Man killed him." Like, the same sort of thing. Like, I'm gonna go after him, whatever. But he's not Spider-Man anymore, or Punisher, I guess technically. So it doesn't really, it's not gonna ruin his friendship with him.
Sounds like the happily ever after for Spider-Man.
For Peter, I think it is like a happily ever after for him.
For Peter, like that's not a bad one.
I know.
I kind of wish that.
You wish it for him. He's gonna go off and marry Gwen Stacy and be super happy.
He deserves a happily ever after.
He does. That poor Peter. He does. I agree.
Oh, now I want to what if it.
But there were some other great ones this week. We're not going to get too much into them, but I want to tell you, Shatterstar #1. Like, I love Shatterstar. If you know nothing about him, you need to look him up. He's amazing. He's so good. I hope we see him soon. And to kind of go along with him, one of his major villains, the X-Men Black villain series is coming out. And we got Mojo.
That's Jabba the Hutt. Who is that?
It's Mojo. And if you don't know anything about the Mojo verse, you need to start reading.
Really?
Mojo. Yeah, he's actually a major villain of Daredevil also.
I never heard of this Mojo.
So Mojo it's Longshot. He's, how do I put it? He has this world that it's like reality TV. Like he captures heroes and villains and stuff and sticks them in this thing so that he can watch TV all the time.
And eat snacks, apparently.
And eat a lot of snacks. But that's a good one. And we got some more Infinity War stuff. So you definitely want to check that stuff out.
Of course, you got to get that.
One thing I'm a little upset about, you know how I feel about my water heroes. Not a fan.
Okay.
So the new Avengers, they're bringing Namor in. We'll see. I haven't read it yet. I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it. But I want to know what you found.
Well, that's what I was going to say. That brings it to my vault. And this week I picked out a special one for you, Tessa.
Is it Aquaman? Look at that lame costume.
This is orange. Is this not old school Aquaman?
That's old school.
So old school. This is issue 21. Like, this is from the 60s right here, which I didn't pick up. But I always I don't remember where I got this from. Maybe my dad, because my dad, that's how I got into comic books. My dad was and he has a whole big chest, and I'm like, I'm getting those. That's passing on to me, right? But you know what's funny? I went into my vault.
Mm-hmm.
This was the first one I grabbed. First thing I grabbed, I was like, well, that just.
Yeah, it's perfect timing.
That is perfect timing.
But I got a question for you, Amanda. Was it good?
No. Wasn't good. First, I was like, oh, I'm glad he don't look like this anymore.
Yeah, where's Jason Momoa?
What's up with his eyes? What happened to is that does he have sea eyes? They're going like this. He looks like a fish, does he not?
He does.
He has that fish look. And your favorite costume, right?
So ugly.
It's ugly here, but did that not look good on Jason Momoa?
I mean, Jason Momoa looks good on anything.
So that's what I'm saying. It looked good on Jason Momoa, but not that. And then I don't even remember some Aqualad. Did you remember Aqualad?
I know Aqualad. He's quite the
looking just as bad as him, as Aquaman, in that little outfit. I don't know that little outfit. And they got Amiyrah. Look at Amiyrah. I wasn't even mad Amiyrah here. I was like, you can take that Aquaman, Amiyrah.
Have him.
Take that Aquaman. And it kind of starts off, I guess they had maybe just got together or just got married, because he's already kind of henpecked there. He's holding the yarn right there from Amiyrah. And then,
oh yeah, that's so nice of him.
Aqualad was right here making fun of him, being like that. So, and then Aquaman got mad and just started. He was like, "Look, he booted him right in the butt." I was like, "Oh, hardcore stuff." This Aquaman comic.
I know.
And then he went to the to see the professor, right? And then he had some kind of growth thing. So he had this growth serum stuff the professor was working on, and they were growing plants. But then, look, there's who are those? These things started coming out the water, fighting them, killed the professor. But yeah, killed the professor. Died. I was like, they're gonna kill him off just that easy. Look, right there. You see his feet. Right? Kills him. He checks his pulse, dead. So I'm like, all right, they don't care nothing about Professor. Then Aquaman got that gross stuff on him. The gross stuff on him.
Oh boy, he's so big.
Got the gross stuff. Then he was just like, well, look, shot out the building. Then now he's gonna go take a swim. Causing all kind of waves and dysfunction in the water ecosystem. I think
you would know better than that.
You should know better than this, Aquaman.
I know.
In the ecosystem, the water ecosystem with that. Then, you know what? I do like though Amiyrah's costume. I was gonna say, she's cute.
Yeah, I like that.
They should have her dressed as than that other costume. But yeah. Then look, squids are attacking them. These ships are following him. He goes and wants to protect
a lot for
Atlantis.
one comic book.
Right? He wants to protect Atlantis because all this stuff's coming. He picks it up and hides it. But he's dumb. they were watching and saw right when he hid and went after it right then. You
of
know,
course.
Right after he left, just waited for him. I'm like, obviously his brain didn't grow with this serum. All right, then he's gonna come. So he's fighting these things again. Are those what is? I don't know what these things are called. Are those robo things that they were saying? Remember in the trailer? I don't know. I don't think it said a name. Then this is when it lost me because I was like, "What's going on?" Like I start zoning out. I'll start zoning out and I'll miss stuff. So, somehow he shrunk. Look at that. There's Aqualad. Somehow he shrunk. I'm like, now he shrunk. When did this happen? I missed it, right? And I was reading it, but my mind zoned off. So he shrunk, and they're trying to save it. He saved Atlanta somehow because look at the end. He's back normal size with her.
And you can get Silly Putty.
Where's Silly Putty? Oh, hey, so I noticed, and that's why I said it's been a while since I had a comic. Talk about like the ads in here with it. Do they have that kind of, not even like they have ads for the other, look, Rocky and Bullwinkle even, like they're shouting out those kind of older comics. Like,
got stuff like that in the comics. I mean, it's usually just the like cover and saying like coming soon is this one. And that's how you know like, oh, they're going to do a new series. I want to put that on my pull list. And then I'll email my comic shop and say, add this to my list. But
so yeah, I mean, it started off good. It was I thought this one started off good. I was like, oh, look at him. He's kicking, he's putting Aqualad up in his place when Aqualad wanted to say some stuff, and then the professor died. So I was into it then. I was like, oh, the professor dies and blah, blah. And then just the whole thing, he's going to get in the water and all these creatures start attacking him. I was just like, nah.
Yeah. I told you, Aquaman's a little bit lame. I'm just saying.
I mean, it could be cool, but I think maybe, do you think what makes it lame is part of the villains?
He does not have good villains. I agree.
Which I think maybe that's what like is hurting the series. I'm like, because I think these villains, like, look at these things, a giant squid in this.
I know.
You don't have to have like water creatures always as villains for Aquaman, right? Like, they just are kind of lame and nobody remembers their name. I think that's kind of what hurts Aquaman, like the whole series.
And the costume doesn't help.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that was going to be the next thing to say. I knew it.
Oh, it looks like a little kid drew it. Who picks those colors to go together?
Yeah, you could at least, like, they don't even put an A on it, but on the belt.
That's the thing. It's too simple. I don't know.
I think you're right. I think it's too simple. I think, look, even Aqualad has a little bit better. Like his is a little, like
Aqualad is fancy.
He is. But that's what his is even a little better. But maybe the costume is a little hurting it. But I think it's the villains that hurts this series, for real. For real. They're not as cool. They're not cool villains.
They're not cool villains. I agree.
Villains.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what you pick out next week, and I can't wait to share more with you. Hopefully, there's another what if we can talk about.
I'm addicted to these what ifs.
Good. Maybe I should pull out an old one. I have a lot, so we'll see. We'll see what I do. We'll see. All right. Well, I know we got great.
Tess, I hope it turns around a little bit. I hope it turns around.
We'll see. That wonky eye is a little off-putting.
Crazy eye.
Well, we've got tons more in this show, so let's get back to it and check out what everyone else is up to.
All right. I hope y'all enjoyed that, and always me going in my vault. Well, now let's take it to LA with Sarah, bringing us the scoop right from LA.
It's Sarah with sarahscoop.com, and I am so sad that I missed the live taping of the Geekly this week. I am actually out of town. I'm in LA, and I was attending a screening of Indivisible with Sarah Drew, who is one of the stars and the executive producer of the film. And after watching the movie, which everyone should go see, it's very heartfelt, and it's great also to kind of get an inside look at what it's like to be part of a family that is involved in the military. So Sarah touched on some things about being part of the movie, and she also talked about leaving Grey's Anatomy, which if you were an April fan like I was, you will understand how sad she was to leave. She did not want to leave. Her character was actually written off. She talks about that and also about what she told her children as they saw her so upset getting the news that she was not going to be on a show that she had been on for 9 years. So anyways, here's a few clips from the interview and also more about the movie.
So my father's a minister, so the element of faith is always a big kind of truth in my life, and an overarching umbrella under which I live. So that resonates with me deeply. I think the main reason I chose to do this film is that I really saw my own marriage mirrored in the Turner family marriage. I went through a really dark time in my marriage a few years into my marriage, about 5 years in, where I felt totally hopeless and felt like there was no way out and felt really, really unhappy and came very close to parting ways. And it was a very dark and sad time. And I remember calling my dad, and my dad saying to me, just because something feels hopeless doesn't mean that it is hopeless. It's been a really lovely transition. I mean, I'm human, so it's been painful also, for sure, being let go. But it was also very exciting because producing this film, I got completely bit by all of the bugs, like all the directing bugs, all the producing bugs. I just felt a real sense of that I was sort of living out of my created self when I got to be in a position of leadership, when I got to set the tone on the set and learned how to lead and thought about all the different elements that went into the creation of story and the character journeys and the acting and the set pieces and just all the things. It was so exhilarating. And actually, when I was shooting Indivisible, I called Debbie Allen, who is in charge of all the directors over at Grey's, and I said, I'd love to start shadowing and just learn how to direct because I'm really interested. And she said, well, we actually have this 6-part web series that we would love for someone, in the family to direct. So do you want to do those? And I was like, okay, yes, I do. I'm just going to say yes. And Chandra Wilson, who plays Bailey on Grey's Anatomy, actually, I shadowed her on episode 3 last season, and to prepare to direct. And I directed these 6 webisodes, and then they were nominated for an Emmy just about like a couple months after I got let go. So it's very interesting. There's I'm really kind of beginning to step into this new role of leadership, and it all kind of came through starting on the position of Indivisible. So it's exciting. I have a tremendous support system. I think I'm someone, community is like oxygen for me. I have to have my people in my life, and I have to have people who are willing to tell me the truth. I cannot surround myself with people who just say what I want to hear. I need to hear hard truth. And a lot of the people that surrounded me, especially when I was in my dark place in my marriage, were saying things that I didn't want to hear because there were some things that I needed to face in myself that I wasn't willing to face. And so I was grateful for that support system. But now I mean, yeah, I have friends that are like, I just had a little birthday celebration, and I had thank you thank you. I had like my closest girls come, and so many of them I've known for 9 years, like for like the whole time I've lived here in LA, and they're still my closest people. And they like met their friends and their core group of people like in my backyard at a barbecue. And I will say that the biggest like spirit killer is isolation, I think. And the more people can bear witness to what's going on in your world and help you not feel so alone, I think the more joy you'll be able to find.
Invisible comes out on October 26th, and you should definitely go see it. Also, I have to say, I love when I interview celebrities, and they are just as nice as you would hope they are, and Sarah Drew definitely was.
Wow, looks like Sarah's having an awesome time in LA. Well, that is our show for today. Thanks for watching with us. And don't forget to enter to win the Hotel Transylvania 3 prize pack. And Let's say it, girls.
Stay